Hi there, this is Tina from TinaHeals.com, and this video is also about the Mercury retrograde and the Mercury transit. I explained a bit in the last video that Mercury is having a very rare transit, an astronomical alignment called transit that takes place only 13 times a century. The last time it happened was May 2016, and next it'll happen sometime in 2032. So this is the point when Mercury, and also right now from the 4th to the 11th, Mercury is out of bound. So Mercury has passed over the ecliptic and is behind the sun. Okay, and this is a very deep time, especially if Mercury is an important planet in your natal chart. Even if it isn't, since Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini, we all have Virgo and Gemini somewhere in our natal chart, which gives Mercury a lot of hold over how we communicate, because everything is about communication. That's why they say Gemini is one sign that has its residual energy in all the signs, because everything ultimately in this world is about communication, right? So Mercury is going retrograde in Scorpio, and Scorpio, as I said, is the domain of Mars and Pluto, the unconscious, and the waters of Scorpio is putrefying. It putrefies, is atomic. Okay, Scorpio rules procreation, elimination. So it's very putrefying, these waters. And Hermes of Thoth, Hermes of Thoth is Mercury, okay? Takes on now a very chthonic role as the psychopomp. And as the psychopomp, Mercury travels away from us, away from our sight, into the heart of the sun, to bring us back messages from the central sun. Okay, you know about the central sun. So this is about Mercury guiding us through the underworld experience, especially from the 4th to the 11th. Now, remember the attributes of Mercury is dissolving and blending. It dissolves and it blends. And when it dissolves and it blends, it means that it reduces the duality or resolves the differences of two polarities. Okay, and if you think of two polar opposite concepts, Mercury will dissolve and blend it together, thereby bringing a sort of synthesis in the process. Okay, now retrograde, when you look at the retrograde, if you look at the life, if you look at your life, okay, you will see that there are many gray areas that you may not understand the meaning of, because these gray areas, they adhere to no meaning. Okay, and if you look at meaning in an ontological sense, then ultimately we realize that meaning is deeply personal. It is a deeply personal experience. So when Mercury retrogrades, meaning becomes even more personal. Okay, and Mercury is also very androgynous, not male, not female, and the energy of Mercury is about bending gender stereotypes. Okay, and Mercury embraces multiplicity. Gemini, multiplicity. Libra, Virgo, okay, detailing. So looking at multiplicity again. Okay, so and when Mercury is retrograde, right, this helps us break out of stuck patterns. Maybe the way we think, the way we communicate. Think of Ace of Swords, cutting away at ignorance. Okay, that is what the Mercury retrograde is meant to be used as a way to break out of stuck patterns. Okay, and if you're not ready to break out of it, these stuck patterns play out as shadow projections. Our tech messes up, we miss flights, we lose things, we have technological malfunction and all of that. These are shadows within us that is being amplified during the retrograde. Okay, now Mercury is retrograde in Scorpio. So this is the time to use that scorpionic detective sense, the sixth sense, the instinctual scorpionic sense, to really get to the crux of the matter and correct what needs to be corrected. This is the opportunity a Mercury retrograde in Scorpio is giving us. And don't forget, Mercury is in a Mars ruled sign. So this is propelling Mercury to go forward. And because Scorpio deals with death, something must die before we gain that clarity. Okay, something must end. Death is an end. Understand that. Okay, so Mercury goes out of bound 4th to the 11th when we cannot see Mercury. Okay, and this is the chthonic evening star stage. Even Venus goes, all planets go out of bound, and then they become like lone rangers. They become rogue energies, and they can stay out of the energetic pull of the archetypal energies like the other planets at play. So out of bound planets are rogue planets. You cannot control them. And this, for Mercury, this is a deeply chthonic state of becoming the psychopomp, the evening star, and Mercury is invisible. We cannot see Mercury, and this is its death and rebirth. Okay, and we have the inferior conjunction with the Sun, and it happens on the November 11th when the transit also happens, and this is at 1855 of Scorpio. This Mercury going into the heart of the Sun, invisible to us, and its rebirth is known as Kazimi, or being in the heart of the Sun. So Mercury is reborn in a Kazimi. Okay, and this is its rebirth, the rebirth of new communication, the rebirth of new ideas, the rebirth of new thought. Okay, breaking away stagnant patterns and really letting it roll when Mercury goes direct, right? The opening stage of Mercury retrograde can be problematic. Actually, stations are the most potent, I have noticed, when Mercury stations retrograde or stations direct. They're very potent. So the first stage, the opening stage of Mercury retrograde is the Nigredo phase, or when everything becomes black, chthonic. Okay, and this is the dark night of the soul, if you ask me. And if you look at when Saturn was in Scorpio, around the same degrees, this was 2012 to 2015. So Mercury is completing something to do with Saturn's karma also. Okay, degrees get activated. Jupiter was on the same degrees, October 2017 to November 2018. Again, Jupiter activated those degrees. Now Mercury is touching base with what Jupiter and Saturn already laid the groundwork for. And now 2020, now Mercury has gone retrograde conjunct Venus. So this is like lovers, maybe marriages that needed work from that point when maybe you were separated, you can come back together. Something that Saturn, maybe some legal problem gets resolved also, because Saturn 2012 to 2015, that was a very important time in my life. 2012 to 2015, I had my baby, I started doing my work with astrology and all, and giving up my other day job, you know, as a screenwriter. So I sort of, it's very important. So for me, it's crucial to see what Mercury, who's my ascendant ruler, what is he going to culminate? And this Nigredo phase is all about the journey to the subterranean realms of the unconscious. And for psychics and mediums, this is the time, November 4th to November 11th, when Mercury is Kazimi, the Sun. We make sense of the messages that are coming to us from the world of spirit. I hope you like that video. Subscribe. Sorry. Subscribe, please, and let me know what you think. Visit my website. Thank you.